today we're making this fun disco snail macrame wall hanging. Hi friends! To start off, we're going to need a 6-inch wooden dowel, and we're going to attach all of our 11 cords using a lark's head knot. So fold your cord in half, and then with the loop end, place that behind your wooden dowel, and then thread the long tail ends through that loop. Cinch up the slack, and attach the rest. For this macrame pixel, we're going to be using yarn for our working cord. So snip off a long strand. I like to use about 60 inches or so, and place the short tail end on the left and the long on the right behind the very first strand of rope. To form our knot, you want to make a loop on the right hand side, wrap your long tail end around and through the loop, and then repeat one more time. This is how you tie a vertical double half hitch knot. Slide your knot all the way up to the top. And since the first knot looks funky, let's do the second knot together as well. So take your long strand and place it underneath the second strand of rope. Make a loop on your right, wrap your long tail end around and through the loop. Cinch it up all the way to the top this time. And then repeat, make a loop on the right, wrap it around and through the loop, and cinch it up taut. Since it's the same knot over and over again, and the first row is all one color, I'm going to jump ahead to the second row. I'll meet you over there. Great, now we've completed the first row. Before we begin the second, I always like to highlight the row that I have completed on my grid pattern. It's a great habit to have, especially for larger pixels. For the second row, we're going to go back in the opposite direction. So working with the same strand of yarn, you want to place it behind the very last cord of rope, and then make a loop on your left this time, wrap it around and through the loop, and repeat. So yes, it's exactly the same way as our first row, only we're going back in the other direction. And just like the first row, it is all solid black, so making this second row super easy. Don't forget to highlight that row when you've completed it. And then next for our third row, we're gonna grab the same strand of cord and go back in the other direction. Now let's skip ahead until we need to switch to a different color. As you can see on our fifth row, we need to switch to a different color on the third knot. Snip off a long strand of brown yarn, and we're going to attach it just like we did at the very start of this project. Set aside your previous black strand of yarn. We're going to go back to that strand, so just pull it off to the side, and attach your new brown strand of yarn just the same way as we did at the very start of this project. Slide your knot all the way up to the top, and now we need to switch back to the black strand of yarn. So to do that, locate your previous black strand of yarn, and what we're going to do is we're going to lift up our black filler cord and run our yarn underneath. You want it underneath the black rope, but on top of your brown yarn. Then continue tying your vertical double half hitch knots just the same as you were before. Now, I know that it's a little confusing. I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate it one more time so you can see it clearly. In the same row, we need to switch back to the brown again. So lift up all your black rope. Run your strand of brown yarn underneath in the back, and then tie your vertical double half hitch knot in the brown. So to switch back and forth between colors, all we're doing is we're grabbing our previous strand and running it behind our work. This will cause stitches in the back of our project, but don't worry, we're going to clean up the back when we get there. So let's continue on tying our vertical double half hitch knots, zigzagging all the way down our grid pattern. Alrighty, once we've completed every single row, unpin it from your board and flip it around. Now, to clean up the mess on the back, whenever I'm working with yarn, what I like to do is grab any two strands that are close together in the back and tie just a regular double overhand knot, and then snip off the excess length of yarn. I find tying all my loose ends together like this really helps reduce the risk of having any knots come undone. On small macrame pixels like this, that's all I do to clean up the mess. However, if it was a big detailed project, then I would definitely add a backing and a signature. In the very near future, I'm going to walk through exactly every single thing on how to create, design, and tie everything to do with macrame pixels. If that's something you're interested in, make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you in the next one.